Hello, welcome back from spring break. We are going to talk today about your final letter and your final memo. So the first one I'm going to show you is on the lavender sheet. It's called the Taylor Realty, and this is an example of putting things in a letterhead. So I'm going to open Word. If you remember in letters, you need a 2-inch top margin, 1-inch sides and bottom. So you go to Layout, Margins. If it's already there, you just click on it. If it's not there, you go down to Custom Margins, change the top margin to 2, leave the others alone, and say OK. Now mine is just showing here as if it's at the top of the page. If you want to see where your header is, just say Insert Header, and then it'll show you. I usually just say Edit Header. Then it'll show you where your header is, okay? In this one, your header is actually going to be where you're going to put the address Taylor Realty. So we're going to go to the Home tab and Center, and you'll see that it's in bold. I usually change this to size 12 just to keep it custom. All right, now Taylor. Hit the Enter key, 345 Austin Drive, any town, North Carolina, space 34444. Enter again, and it's the phone number. So parentheses, and I did not create these numbers. Now, in this one, since you've got something in the header, you're going to actually put your name in the footer. So the way you do that is just scroll to the bottom, double click on the footer, add your name, and then double click back at the body to start your typing. Now, if you've already set your 2-inch top margins, when you click out of the header, what's in the header is going to be grayed out, and that's okay because right here where we're focusing, that's going to be the dark color. Now, anytime I have my return address up here in the header, I want to start with the date. Because my return address is not here, I'm starting at that 2-inch margin with the date. So today here it is April the 8th. And then how many times do I space after the date? That's a quadruple space. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I type my return address, Mr. and Mrs. Simon, if I could type. They are at 2456 Elgin Street. I forgot to bring my letter holder home, so I have to look down at the desk to see what I'm typing. 34587. Remember, you double space for the Dear Mr. and Mrs., and then you double space. Everything else is single spaced. Single space in the paragraphs, double space between the paragraphs. Mrs. Hernandez. Mr. and Mrs. Hernandez, double space. Now, we'll do our little equals rand here. Remember, you're not doing equals rand. You're typing the letter. I'm just doing my little teacher shortcut. Equals rand. And let's just pretend this is my letter. So I'm going to double space between the paragraphs and single space within the paragraphs. Remember, that is something we do for letters and memos. I don't really need all of those today. So let's just kind of cut these. Double space and type sincerely. Now, just as a review, since you've been on spring break, there's no punctuation here and there's no punctuation here. That means this is an open punctuation. So quadruple space, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it says your name. So even though you've got it in the footer, I wanted you to have the practice of how to do that. We're going to double space and my typist initials, or just first and last name. Remember, when you hit enter, that first letter becomes a capital letter, so you backspace and make it lowercase. All right? Double space and type enclosures. Double space, and that little C means copy. I'm sending a copy to Ian Taylor, I-A-N-T-A-Y-L-O-R. So What I need to do here is backspace and make that a lowercase c. And that's all you need to do for the Taylor Realty letter. So this is an example of letterhead. I've got the letterhead in the top, so that is my return address. Anytime my return address is in the header, I have starting with the date right here. Now the second assignment I want to show you, I'm just going to say File New to save some time here. The second assignment is unscramble the memo. And again, you want your layout of margins, 2-inch top, 1-inch sides and bottom. That's something that labels letters and memos have in common. We're going to, we did the margins. This one you're going to put your name in the header. So I'll just go header and I'll say edit header. Remember, you can double click and that will also open the header, but some of you have complained in your messages to me that you can't see the header, so that's why I did it this way. You can either close this way or double click at the bottom. Now here's what's different about this. This one is, you are not worrying about a border, you are not typing this up here at the top. When it says unscramble the memo, you have to put it in order. So you remember to, from, date, and subject come first. So those are your header words. They are in all caps, they are bold. So you put your caps on and you tab to align. Do you remember that from memos? I'm going to take the bold off. It is to Alan Johnston, principal, double space, from, so my caps lock on, my bold on, from. Do you remember how to do this with memos? I know it's before spring break. All right, so caps off, bold off. From is way down towards the bottom, and that's Julie. Athletic director. Got the TV coming on in the background. And then you continue with date and subject. Next is going to come your paragraph. So you have a paragraph here and a paragraph here. After the paragraphs, you're going to close it with the typist initials. All right? So it's to, from, date, subject, 2 paragraphs, typist initials, and then you're going to save it and close it as unscramble the memo. Okay? Thank you. Have a good day. And meeting.